Progress Racing. Show us your tips, Daggy and Beaver with you. Beaver's back from holidays, sort of. He's here, but he's had some camera issues this morning. Beaver, Happy New Year, buddy. What's going on?
Happy New Year to you as well, mate. Nothing, just continuing on the holidays before heading back to work and hopefully getting a few winners for the punters.
Lovely. Off a freshen up. Holidays were good.
Yeah, first up after a spell today, mate. So we'll see how we go. But did keep me foot on the till watching the racing on the weekend.
Beautiful. Any takeaways from it?
Yeah, a couple of takeaways, I guess. Probably a couple of disappointing short price favourites. Inundation, something seemed to go wrong there in the last 50 there. Not quite sure what happened. And Detonator Jack was pretty disappointing with Soci Bon kicking back and beating it. So bit of a question mark on those two gallopers.
Yeah, my new favourite for pastimes, Lang Jamie Carr. So it was a productive day, as we suggested might be the case, thanks to Johnny, who filled in last week. He produced a couple of nice winners, and it was a pretty good day for the boys. Hopefully we'll get him back around Championships Day. He loves his 2-year-old, so maybe Golden Slipper, he'll come pop back in for a cameo. But good to have you back on board, mate.
Probably my biggest spray of the day would have been the last in Sydney, mate. Pizarro was absolutely one of the worst rides. A Tommy Berry special, one of your favourites. Absolutely gave that no chance. I just can't continue to see how jockeys get those horses into those positions of unwinnable and just keep taking the punter's money.
Yeah, well, it meant we landed the Sydney Quartet about $3,000, so I didn't complain too much.
Bizarre. It should have won by about 3 lengths and was just never given a shot.
There's something to be said for being on top of this jockey form, because some of these are starting in the market and some of these riders you just can't back at the moment. So
yeah, but I just can't see, like...
Yes, it shouldn't be that hard.
I mean, they've got to start suspending jockeys for just butchering horses. I mean, because they're just not giving them a shot.
Well, especially when they're quick to suspend for what, trying too hard or trying to take gaps or and that sort of thing. And there needs to be some question marks on the rides of some of these other ones. I agree. We could even Detonator Jack. Probably too cute. I thought that ride was a little bit too cute. Could have got going earlier, but obviously.
But I prefer. But
at least it was in clear air. Yeah,
it was in clear air. It loomed up. It probably almost hit the front. And the other thing just kicked back and was too strong. You can't knock that by putting horses into the race too early. But that not putting them into the race at all. That's a different scenario for me.
Yeah. Look, everything going on with Tommy Berry, God bless him. I'm happy to not be backing him at all at the moment. So we will, treat it. I treat it. We get to Warwick Farm though. We've got some races to talk about. 15 races to talk about today, which features said Mr. Berry, but 7 at Warwick Farm, which is on a good track. Nice dry weather, rail under 5 metres from 1,000 to the winning post. 3 for the remainder, Beaver. We're kicking off with a 1,400 metre maiden. And thank God Step Aside comes out. How are you going to start the day here?
Yeah, look, with Step Aside out, that's tightening the market, the Englishman, and there's probably enough to suggest its first up run was good enough to win this. Ran a nice second behind a decent horse in Zoo Tiger, and then was put out for a spell. So I'd expect it would have come back with some improvement on that. And this is of the race brigade here. There's not a lot of form here, so I think it's a clear on top.
Yeah, I would have, having said all that about Step Aside, I'd probably been happy to back the Englishman with it in the race. So you're getting a better price with it out at the moment from what it was last night, which is nice. It's on top for me, the Englishman. If I'm going to play away from it, I think the 2, I might have a spec on Utopian Spirit, who's trolled okay. First up, second prep with Dylan Gibbons for Chris Waller around the $20 mark. I had Eddie as the danger from Moscow Knight, who has to improve from that pretty average run last time out. The second is a 1,400 metre maiden as well, this time for the girls, where I've treated the lead up as the right race. Moonlight Greats going okay. Dylan Gibbons again on this one, chased home pretty talented one in Rocketeer Girl at Canterbury last time out. A bit less strung out pace here, and have it on top. Maritime surely has to win one of these at some point. Gets Brett Preble, who's in Sydney for the time being, which is a bit of a boost to the jockey ranks. But Moonlight Grace on top for me. Beaver, how are you looking at this?
Yeah, no, I went for Maritima to finally break through here today. I thought its last run was good. It was the second behind Super Chill, who's come out and won since in nice fashion. So that's good enough form to win a race like this. This is pretty weak affair. So you're on top around the 550, presents good value.
Mm-hmm. Away from Canterbury, probably a good thing by this stage now. Race 3, 1,400 metres as well. Benchmark 72. What have you got here?
Yeah, not a race I could really get too excited with here, Daggy. I'll let this one go through to the keeper. Nothing here for me.
I've got the favourite on top, Nickelback, with Tommy Berry, but tried to scrape up the inside last time out. Didn't get out too late. Hopefully, Clear Air here, I think, can redeem itself, but I don't think this will be a big betting race by any means. To sort of agree, this is one of those ones that you could run 10 times and have 5 different winners. So, yeah, on top with very little confidence. The 4th is a mile, benchmark 72, where I don't like this race either. So I've defaulted to the leader, Channon. Tyler Schiller goes on, gets complete control in a race with no chasers. I think there's nothing else here. I had the main danger as the import debuting, claim the crown. Trials were just fair, but I couldn't entertain anything else here, and thought if it has any upside, it might be in the finish. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, I was pretty much similar to you, except flipped them the other way. I went for the import, claim the crown. I thought it wouldn't have to be any superstar to win this, and thought that over the mile first up, Gibbons aboard, Neesham going like a gun. So around the 650, I thought that was just a better way to play.
No, fair enough too. He's almost a go-to jockey in the card here, Dylan Gibbons.
Got some nice rides.
He does, yeah. The 5th of 1,400 metres, again, benchmark 72. You giving Electrica another chance, or are you looking somewhere else here?
No, I'm going to go with Gibbons here with Miss Lenore. So speaking of Gibbons, I think this thing can run really well, being really consistent of late. Some nice little runs in a pretty open affair, all pretty tight in the market. So 2 kilo claim like that, and I think it can run well.
Let's back one first up here. I think Summerbeel's a talented horse. I think it did some nice stuff last prep before the end of prep run there down at Goulburn. Trials have been fair enough for this. Comes here, rolls along on the pace, and is $10. And I'm going to see if I can have a throw at the stumps there around that price. Electrica was a horror watch last time out. Gets another chance here with Tyler Schiller. Hopefully can sit a bit closer. And Miss Lenore will get the form through the earlier race, but he's flying, so I'm scared of it, but going to play predominantly around 6 and 1 here. The 6th is 1,000 metre, benchmark 72. Tricky business, Beaver. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, another tricky business. Just spot on here, mate. Again, not a race to get overly excited with. For the sake of having a pick, I've gone for number 5, Zane's Girl. Thought it was a pretty good run first up at Rheinberg. Sat off the pace and produced a really nice finish there in good time. I expect a little bit of improvement here. Goes up a little bit in the weights, but nice draw. If close enough, could be good enough.
Yeah, I sort of thought the key to this one would be the track pattern by this time. If we can run on, I've actually got Zane's Girl on top as well. I liked its return. Pretty soft through the line there. Again, if we can run on, I had the danger is Miss Fox, whose best runs have been the runs dropping back to 1,000 this prep. Gets that here. If it is on pace and dry, which it can be with the rail out there, then command approved. I'd flip them around, have command approved on top. But very much pattern related by this time. And if it's all things being equal, I agree with you, Zane's Girl on top. The 7th, 1,200 metres, benchmark 72 as well, where finally I can sort of stamp one on the card. I think Think About It is a nice horse. I liked what it did last prep. Probably can make an argument it should be unbeaten. Both trials have been good coming here. Kicks off at home, gets Sam Clipperton, which I like at the moment, and going to be very hard to beat. What do you think?
Yeah, gone the same way as you here for all the same reasons. I think about it. Looks like a nice, lightly raced horse on the way up. Resumes here and given off the last trial here at Warwick Farm, if it can produce something in that capacity, I think it'll be hard to beat from gate two.
Lovely. Who's going to be the hardest to beat on the card? Your best in value?
Yeah, my best is race 7, number 4, Think About It. And my value bet is race 6, number 5, Zane's Girl.
Lovely. I agree. Best for me, race 9 and number 4, Think About It. And I'll make my value race 5, number 6, Summerbeel. As we head down south, we head to the Sandown Lakeside track where we are on a good track again. Rail goes to the 6 metre mark, so we've got to be a little bit wary of up the inside here this afternoon at Melbourne, I think. So I've treated a little bit that way throughout the form. Interesting little card. Hopefully a good betting card. We've had some luck there over the last 12 months for sure. We're kicking off with a 1400 metre Class 1 where I'm going to take on the favourite here. And I'm going to stick with Rheinberg, who I was keen heading into last start off the trials. Thought it was a nice debut. I thought it chugged around on the pace well there and didn't really get out of second gear to win pretty soft. I like the fact Mickey D's stuck, and I like it as a horse, I think. So I'm going to stick solid. I'm going to take on the favourite and think this is going to be hard to beat. How are you starting the day?
Same. I thought at the prices, I think it's well worth taking on. I didn't think there was that big a gap of them off their last start, and surprise one's $1.70 and one's $4. So I think at the $4, you probably got to take back that and hope to get the chockies.
Beautiful. I like it. The second is a 3-year-old maiden, a deep field here. I'll just double check the scratchings. Who do you like though?
Yeah, hard to get a bit of a line through them here. I wasn't too sure what way to go here, so I kind of went for a little bit of value. I was looking for one of the sort of horses with the most experience, Hurricane Katut, with Oliver aboard. I thought it's formed this preparation in. It's got the hard edge fitness on some of these, and probably drawn the best in gate 6. So I thought it could run well. With a watch on the first starter from the Mar Eustace stable, Normandy Bell, around $10. So I was just going to look for a little bit of value here in a pretty open race.
Cool. Yeah, last runs weren't too bad. And good day for Ollie. There's a couple of chances here. I'm keen on a bit later on. I've ended up, I don't particularly like the race. It's a bit tricky for me, but I did end up with the favourite on top. Hopefully we get better than the $3. Both runs last prep were fine. Jump outs were fine. Interesting kicks off at 1400 metres. Probably looks like it does need that, but for the sake of a tip, it's on top, but tricky race. We'll know more coming out of it, as they say. 1200 metres, maiden comes up next, where I am. Look, by all rights, the form around Tap and 3 looks great with it. Coming out of that race by Giga Kick and Lascars. That's a good form race for a race like this. Gate 1, Jamie Carr at that round the even money mark. No, so going to just take it on here and go with the first starter again for the Murray Eustace stable in Gringotts. Bought off the back of a nice trial win in New Zealand and it's just chugged around under wraps in a couple of trials here. And I think around a $6 mark, I'm happy to have a spec each way at this. I think it might be a bit of a talented horse and just going to take it on. Tap's main danger for me, the Hawks horse having its first start down south off the back of some okay trials in Sydney, but just going to be a bit bullish against the favourite here. What do you think?
Now I've stuck with Tap in 3 here. It was in the market when it ran 3 lengths behind Giga Kick at its only start and they put it out. That's a good enough form line for me. It was on soft going. So starting back here, I think you'll get $2.30, 40. And I think gate 1, I don't think that's too big a problem. That's clear on top for me.
Race 4, 2100 metre benchmark 64. Beaver, any thoughts on this?
No thoughts at all. You can have this one on your own, mate.
Going to make the case that I'm going to go a bit with the bit of a spec here that Fire Glow 2 under Ollie in a race with no pace. Ollie might just take the initiative here from out wide and take up the lead. And if he does, I think this is a race that may have very little chases. I struggled to get a real feel for this race, but if it goes straight to the front, I think it will be the horse to beat. Hopefully gets a nice soft time up there and can hold on. So It On Top from Hard Squeeze, who now third up out to the distance, suits. But can I back Ollie here on a map basis? The fifth is a benchmark 64 over the 1,800 metres. And I'm going to have a couple of little specs here, again on a map basis, in a race with pretty much no pace. I'm going to have a small bet on the 2 leaders, and that's Poleaxed and Allegedly, both coming off wins, both and look to be the only pace in the race at all. They could roll forward and control this for Daniel Moore and Dan Stackhouse, and both are $20+. One's 20s, one's 30s. And in a race where this favourite may be back and last around the $2.50 mark, I'm just going to have a throw at the stumps and see how we go. What did you think?
Yeah, again, not a race I was overly keen on, but I have gone for Freedom Escape. I just thought it was the most consistent and had the fitness on its side. I thought if it could probably be somewhere in the finish, if not winning this race. So I thought around the $5 mark, if you get that might be the horse to back.
Beauty. The 6th, 1,400 metres, 64. Beaver, what have you got?
Yeah, another tricky little affair. A lot of open races here. I've stuck with the favourite here. I think it can break through. It's third up after a spell today. First up wasn't a bad run, and then was pretty good last start at Sandown over 1,300, just narrowly getting pipped on the line. Again, it probably leads this race and is hard to catch, but I would be also saving on Ruggiero. I thought it was a good run last start as well. I did like it as one of my value bets, and I think it presents a little bit of decent value here today, so would be saving on it.
I've lost my top tip, so I'm left with Sunfall on top. Hit the line fairly well last time out. Gets now third up on Lakeside. Hopefully can sit a bit closer. And from Ruggiero, who will run well. I'm just going to keep my narrative going of I'm going to take on Jamie Carr at the moment. And she might well ride 4 winners this afternoon, make me look stupid, but wouldn't be the first time.
No, you do well at that yourself, mate.
Yeah, I know. 7th, benchmark 64, 1,200 metres, where I am... Well, the favourite's going to be hard to beat here, Defining. Hopefully Maddie Lloyd can pop through and take up a forward enough spot here. But I think at the price, it's worth having something on Unusual Culture. As a horse we both sort of had an opinion of last prep. Was fair enough in all runs, bar its last. Trials have been okay again. First up, second prep in Oz with a claim. Hopefully we're going to see it do something now around the $8 mark. If it's not delivering today, I think we can get the texture out and not have to worry about it again. What do you think of this?
Took the words right out of my mouth, my friend.
Cool.
I did have Defining on top. I think it's probably the best horse in this race. And if you go back and look at its form last preparation, ran a nice race behind Key Royale at Flemington, flashing home from well back in the field to be only a couple of lengths. And then prior to that, ran second in behind Elation, which is a good horse in a listed race at Morphettville. So before a big win at Oakbank. So I think this horse has a little bit of talent, and I think it sets up nicely for this. But Unusual Culture is a horse that came here with a few wraps on it. Probably didn't produce as well last prep. Give it another chance here today and see if it's a horse to follow.
Cool. Good stuff. Great minds, hey? The 8th.
Hopefully.
1,100 metres, 64. How are you finishing the day?
Yeah, I'm going to finish again with the Mayus to stable in the Art of Flying regime in Gate 1. I think that's perfect here. Again, a horse that's had a third, 3 lengths behind Overpass. That's pretty good form for a race like this. Hasn't had a start for a while, but I expect it to run very, very well. And this looks a good first up assignment. Gets the 3 kilo claim, which I think really helps. And again, a very winnable race first up, clear on top.
Beauty. I agree. Nothing to add. For all those reasons, have it on top. I like the Sydney form around it. I like that it's bringing Canterbury form to Lakeside. So all ticks for me with the pre-post favourite coming out there. So, best in value at Sandown Lakeside. I'm going to make my best race one, number one, Rheinberg. You could argue it's probably value as well, taking on an odds-on favourite there. But my value, race 5, the bracket I mentioned, 5 and 8, Poleaxed and allegedly both in the 20s. Hopefully one of them can bob along in front and stick on for us. Your best in value, mate.
Yeah, my best is race 7, number 2, Defining. I think it's going to be really hard to beat around the 350 mark. And for a bit of value, race 2, number 7, Hurricane Katut, around the $10 mark.
Beautiful. What do you got for us up north? Looks a pretty good betting card there.
It looks a very good betting card up north for us, and I think I've got a couple of. I think we can almost take it all up there today and get the money. Race 2, number 10, Harby Batty, I think can be winning. Race 3, number 11, Hell of a Barty. Both of those a little bit short in the market, and then we'll finish off nicely with race 5, number 3, Ghost Rider.
Excellent. Yeah, ran well on the Saturday last time out. Ghost Rider for memory.
Yes, it did. I was on it about the $10 mark last weekendish, or a weekend or so ago, week and a half ago, and I was only beaten on the line by the $1.50 pop Antino and that, so should be super hard to beat. Beautiful.
Thanks a lot, Beaver. Welcome back. Good to have you back, mate.
No problem.
What photo do you want me to use? One with hair or something? Or
I don't know. You'll have to dig into the trenches there, mate, to find one with that.
All right, I'll do my best. You will be back for the Friday show. Are we looking at Magic Million? We've got Magic Millions coming up this week.
Yeah, beautiful.
Gold Coast and something else. We'll do Sydney or Melbourne as well. Good work. Good luck, Savo. Good luck, punters. And we will talk soon. Check out ProGrit Racing, of course. See ya.
Ciao for now.